have Jerry Pops Barnes, and he's going to talk to us about what he does. He's a counselor for the District 1. And what would you like to talk about?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on the Kadijah Show. We'll be watching the Kadijah Show. I know you're going to have a lot of good, interesting people on. Appreciate that you have me. Basically, I'm a counselor for District 1. But as everybody knows, Kadijah, I limit myself not only for city matters, but for a number of other things. You've been here, you heard a call I've gotten from someone that's in need of help. And I'm just thankful that the benefit of my position is to be able to be a conduit, to be able to channel God's love and mercy to other people in the community. So that's really, at this stage of my life, that I'm all about.
Okay, when did this start? Like, when did you
Goodness.
start this company?
Well, let me tell you when I started. When I got out of the military and I went to school, disabled vet, sent me to school, went to school for nursing. Because when you go in the hospital, the nurses are the ones that bring all that good feeling stuff there when you're in pain and stuff, you understand. So,
Yeah.
and was making good money. In fact, I was working at the medical center, 6th floor, making 36 hours a week, so I had 2 days off. So I got a job at West Central to balance the difference between mental health and physical health. Making good money. Many of those George Washingtons and Benjamins I was making. And then one evening, God can just turn your whole life around. I was headed in this direction, and in one night, the good Lord turned me around this way. I had about 10 patients that night. 6 of them were what they call high acuity, really serious. What was interesting to me, what caught my attention, is that the majority of them were younger than I was at that particular time. I was 52 then. And that germ of a thought stayed in the back of my head. Now, just so you'll know that I know the difference between what I'm driven by and God giving you a message. I have a sleeping disorder where I only sleep 3 hours at the maximum, maybe 3.5 or 4. But in that time, I wake up at least 5 or 6 times in an hour. Hard to go into REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. And in the conscious, when I knew that God was prompting me to do what I did, was quit both jobs and to go out to the community and try to educate people in healthcare, I was disobedient because I was like those Washingtons and Benjamins. They looked kind of good. They felt good in my head. But when I started dreaming, and I never dreamed, it scared me. And I knew my grandmother told me, don't tempt God. Within 2 weeks, I quit both jobs and just relied on my military retirement, which didn't cover all my bills. My wife and I had hard times, but I just stayed focused on helping people. Never knew that God would bring me to where I'm at now only because I've been obedient, and He's put me in a position to help more people. That's a true story. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it is.
I know it is. And so now to get back to why you're here in my office. You see it's set up like a classroom.
Yes.
2 years ago, walking the streets of my district, I saw so many young people that were out there walking the streets aimless without a job. Some of them were doing some of the things they shouldn't have done. When I would ask them about, they said, Pops, I could do this. I could do this. What you want me to do? And I had no answer for them. Bothered me. As always, I put it in prayer. Came up with the fact I've got to do something. You have to step out on faith. I've always had this office here, even before I got elected, because I was wise enough and I trusted God enough to know that I would possibly win, even though the odds were stacked against me, because I just trust God so much. And I'm mature enough to know that people would need to come here to talk to me privately about things, which happens all the time. So what I did is I converted this into a classroom, because I had an idea that the good Lord gave me that you've got to just step out and just offer something. The only thing is that I needed people, so I put an advertisement in the Columbus Times newspaper, telling people, everybody has a talent. If you give an hour, a half an hour, whatever, to come to opportunities to get ahead. The only woman to contact me was a woman who made cabinets, and she's passed away. So then one day when I was walking Merriweather Drive, there was a gentleman moving in. He just come from Poughkeepsie, New York. And knocked on the door, gave him my information. He asked me to come in. We had a conversation. I talked to him about some of the things I was doing in the community. He's a retired contractor. He said, you know, I'm retired. I want to do something with my life to give back because God's blessed me. I will come and volunteer. And so, opportunities get ahead has started. I got other volunteers initially. And he is a retired contractor. He teaches plumbing, house wiring, heating and air, and some carpentry. And if you turn the sheet over, you will see how it goes by week. The first week, say week one, is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, by the way. And it's in the morning, because the only requirement and opportunities get ahead is if you don't have a GED, you need to get one, because I don't want anyone to be a jackleg. This is just a jump off point to let people know, because the majority of people think they can't learn. And when they come here, I motivate them, and so does Winston, and I have some other people come in and motivate them to know that you can learn something. You can be somebody. It is all about choices. So that's part of the first week. So the first week on a Monday is job safety, tools, and equipment. That first Wednesday is materials, basic electrical, because we're doing electrical, which tells you about the equipment that you will need. And that first Friday is a continuation of Wednesday, because there's a lot of equipment that you'll need. The second week, that Monday, now they've done the whole electrical part. The second week, they're doing plumbing. You see where it says plumbing materials, tools, job layout, roughing, appliances, fixtures, installation, faucets, sinks, and toilets.
Yes.
That's the second week. That starts on that second Monday. Second Wednesday and that second Thursday is a continuation. Going into the third week, you have a continuation of the previous week as a wrap-up. And then that third Wednesday, they start the carpentry, sheetrock installation, taping, painting, fixing. And that Friday is a cumulative review of everything everyone's had the previous 3 weeks. Now, some of the people are like me, which when I was in school, they had me sit in the back of the class on that stool with that pointed hat. So we have a revolving. You can come when you want, you can leave when you want. Because some people don't. I don't want anyone to be under pressure. So I tell everyone, you learn at your own speed, so you can come back. In the meantime, what I've done, I've gone to the Department of Labor, because this is a basic course. And there are some people who are still working on their GED, so I want to keep them in the groove. I want to keep them knowing that they can do things. And so I have them go out and work with people as apprentices. All they do is this, they do like me. Okay, you see that tile? Put that tile, angle it this way, put the things, all that they tell them, and they're learning. And it keeps them interested, not out on the street. And it also lets them know that they can be somebody and that they are somebody.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna talk enough.
So how long, are your classes? How long are the classes?
The classes are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
No, like the hours.
The hours from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 12:30.
Okay.
And that frees up the afternoon for them to go to their GED classes. You know, the GED classes are at Tillinghurst and also at Columbus Tech. And Columbus Tech is marvelous. I've spoken with them, and all I've got to do is take students there.
Seems like a pretty cool job.
It is, but you want to know something? One thing that I've learned in 69, almost 70 years of life, and I will say this to you, you're a young lady. How old are you?
18.
Very young. The next time I'm striving, I'm asking the Lord, let me be 18, 118, okay, like Methuselah. But one thing I've learned in life is this here. If you trust God, He will open up doors that you can't even imagine. Nowhere would I imagine would I be on city council. Didn't plan it. I was just obedient to that one germ that the Lord put in my head, is to go out and educate people on health education. A lot of things that they don't know and that I knew. And he wore me down in a month and a half, 6 weeks, before I relented. And I started dreaming. It scared me too much. And so I've been able to help in this community in so many ways, not only for opportunities to get ahead, but my thing is health. So I give health fairs. There's going to be a health fair, by the way, on December 1st from 10 to 2 at the Pop Austin Gym. There's over 30 organizations there. It's free. People go there to get tested for everything. High blood pressure, they check your heart, they check your carotid arteries. All in this mission of mine to help. And I partner with a number of churches and organizations because everything comes from the good Lord. All goodness and justice and mercy comes from God. And so I just feel grateful to be in the position that I am in, that He's placed me in, to be able to help.
Okay. So, like, for this class, like, do they have to pay to take the class? Or?
You got to start out at $500 to really start with. No, it's free.
Okay.
I don't want them to bring anything except a piece of paper or a book and pencil, because cost is the one thing that is normally a deterrent. And for what I'm finding out now and who I'm having in classes, I started up with the young people, but a lot of the unskilled laborers that have been laid off of their jobs, I find them coming here. Individuals who have been on jobs for a while and don't have any training, but have been unskilled laborers, carry things here or whatever. Now I'm finding them coming in. These are individuals. There's one gentleman came in here and he was mid-40s. And so now it's not just young, it's just anyone who wants to have some type of training and direction in life. It's available to them. And there's no excuse, because it's warm in here, it's cold outside, but they got the heat in the winter, I got air conditioning in the summer, got plenty of water in my refrigerator that they can have in the classroom, and they only have from 8:30 to 12:30 so they can still get out in time for lunch before they go to GED.
So there's no excuse for it?
There's no excuse and no impediment, and I appreciate you interviewing me and Minister Land to be able to put this word out, because I want more and more people. I want to add more. I got more chairs. I want to take out some of these things. I want this whole place full for people who really want to learn.
Okay, so you started with one person. How many people do you have now?
I've got volunteers from, that's a very good question, Home Depot has come here, and now they have offered to partner where they will have someone come here, and then we will also get the students to go out to Home Depot where they can show them some of the things that Mr. Winston Bailey was a blessing for me. Tiling, some of the carpentry, and they also have the space out there at Home Depot where they can do the layout and all. We go out in the back of this building out there in the woods to do ours. So there is a number of educators are coming, because there are some of the individuals who are here have not really learned the basis of education reading, and they have difficulty. So I've had some educators who've been in the Columbus Times about this program who have volunteered to come in. Also some counselors who read about it in the Columbus Times. I have some counselors come in, because a lot of the individuals who come here, they do lack confidence in themselves, or they lack the ability to be able to realize that they can achieve something.
So they don't believe in themselves?
No, they don't, and that's not unusual. That is really not an unusual thing. I run into people a lot who never had the opportunity to have individuals early in their life to be able to even tell them that they could be somebody or that they can learn. And so for a lot of people, when you're told that, and when no one has encouraged you, then you don't try. And to me, one of the biggest problems is that a lot of these people are graduating from one class to the next because they outgrow. When you have somebody 18 and they might be in the 4th grade, those kind of unusual. And so they pass them on instead of giving them the additional help that they need to keep up. That is exactly why the closing of the Academic Success Center is something that is very hurtful to me, because there are a number of people that grown-ups in the community that I can see were just passed from one grade to another or early outed and told, go get your GED. Well, if you're at the 4th grade level and you're somebody like me would you feel a little bit reluctant to go into a classroom? Some people are like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that does. But let me touch real quick on something else that I would love for you, because I know you love doing interviews. Here's a program, it's called the Tree of Life. And this program, there are still so many people who are uninsured or underinsured. In other words, they are working and the children are covered under peach care or well care by state. But the husband and wife, it could be two working in a family, but they don't make enough money to take money out to get each other insured. This program right here is fantastic, and it's for people who have no medical insurance and no ways of getting any. You don't have to have not one red cent. And this gentleman here, Reverend Client, is partnering with Columbus Regional to do this. Columbus Regional has an indigent care program that the city contributes to. And so now Columbus Regional is partnering with this reverend. And this reverend, who I know you're going to interview too, he had a dream like me to do something. And this is a true blessing. And I'm helping to help him to get started. I did 2 commercials for him. And I'm going out into the community asking for people who want to volunteer. Nothing happens without volunteers. Opportunities to get ahead would not happen unless the good Lord touches somebody's heart and prompts them to volunteer. And so this is called Trees of Life. I'm going to give you all the information because I want to watch this on TV when you're interviewing Reverend Client.
Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Kadijah Show today, and thank you, Pops, for coming to talk to us about your counseling.